Hey guys, well it's that time of the year again. Jake from Clicker Productions here, and we're back after another trip around the sun, and it's time to reflect back on a crazed 2019 calendar year for the company. And that's right, we're jumping right in. Disconnected, finished and premiered this past year. It was a strange feeling to go back to the previous look back videos from 2016, 2017 and so on, and to see Disconnected repeatedly mentioned as something to, look forward to in the future tense. And the time has come and gone, and Disconnected is now imprinted into film history. If IMDb or Letterboxd have anything to say about it, that is. The film completed post-production less than 2 months after our previous update video, and less than 2 days after that, premiered at the Backlot Perth on the big screen to a near full house. The film looked absolutely gorgeous, fully rendered at 2K, and was showcased alongside the short film Cradle, and a Q&A of myself and the cast of the film. It was definitely a night to remember. Now since then, Disconnected has had a home release on DVD and is available to purchase right now on our website. It's full of bonus content, behind the scenes video footage, a commentary track, audition clips, and many more goodies you've surely heard from us by now. Now keeping in line with our slate of Clicker originals, as I like to call them, we also dropped a 21-minute documentary called X Rental. For the uninitiated, it's a doco shot by my good friend Nikisha Moody and edited and directed by yours truly. And it focuses on 3 local video stores, all of whom are in different stages of operation, including the late, great Blockbuster Molly. It was a side project that we've been slowly shooting and editing throughout the year, and it's finally dropped in mid-November to an amazing reception. Tears were shed, to say the least. Now that of course is available for free on YouTube as well this very moment. If you haven't already, give it a watch, it's a heart-wrencher. But anyway, despite these originals, as we like to call them, we've also kept super busy collaborating with other outlets this year. Our biggest collaborator, of not just this year but of past as well, is ZKJ Productions. While we assisted with them on productions such as Home Again and The Pretender and most recently Hitched, our main presence resided on a weekly joint podcast, the Cinema Sideshow Podcast. Each and every Monday, having started January 21st, myself and Zeke Morgenheim have co-hosted the show, reviewing our own film careers and hundreds of wider release films spanning a century. We just dropped our 50th episode the other day, leading us into the new decade of podcasting goodness. The Cinema Sideshow Podcast is available on Spotify, Podbean and Apple Podcasts. Our collaborations have extended even further with promotional and factual video content for the likes of Fan-Based Collectibles, the Backlot Perth, Bone Mo, the City of Coburn, the Eco Shark Barrier, and Murdoch University, as well as the externally produced Otto and Waiting Room short films. As you can see, this is a lot of work, and unfortunately these projects are at various stages of completion. Whichever ones are complete should be available for viewing on our social media pages or our website. And last but not least, we've also invested in some new gear, most notably a DJI Maverick Air drone, which we've tested out on a sole video that you can also find on our social media pages. And of course we kept up with our social media presence as well, most notably surpassing our number of posts on Instagram by about 30% and Facebook by 35%, although that would obviously be due to the DVD promotions and sharing the weekly podcast, but hey, it's all relative. So there you have it, 2019 was a huge year for us, but that's to be expected at this point, I would gather. We haven't slowed down a single bit since we launched in July of 2016, and despite, on a personal note, facing many challenges and hurdles along the way, I've completed my university studies as a film student, and in a lot of ways I very much still feel like a student of film, and life in general really. This is why I do what I do, and this is why I'm anti-Lucas on his Star Wars fixes. Film is a time capsule, and how dare we try to eliminate or hide our earlier, perhaps embarrassing works. Am I tremendously proud of everything I've put out into the world? Not necessarily, but that's the point. We're growing and changing, and so should the things that we pass out into the filmscape. Now I say this in place of any sort of preview or look into 2020 because frankly, we don't have any solid plans for 2020. It's currently a blank slate. I mean, of course we still intend to continue the Cinema Sideshow podcast, but beyond that, it is a clean calendar. And I'm personally very excited by this. Disconnected was the bug that bit my creative loins for more work in the feature-sized capacity. I have feature film ideas, husk of what might become scripts very shortly, and now hopefully the time to commit to those even further. Clicker Productions offers an outlet for me to develop my filmmaking skills, and now seems like the perfect time in my little old 22 years of life to push the limits to the absolute max. Not for a lack of trying these past several years. We'll continue to create, shoot, and distribute short films, factual content, and hopefully more feature films. That won't change. In fact, I can't promise any changes to the way Clicker Productions works in this new decade, except for a level of determination that I'm always striving for. And with that little motivational piece out of the way, I bid die a wrap on this past year's reflective video. The future is misty, unclear, and very, very invisible, but that might make it the most exciting one yet. As a good friend of mine says, upwards and onwards, my fellow filmmakers, and I'll see you at the next one. This is Jake from Clicker Productions, signing out once again.